We went away for just a little bit, and now we are back. This is the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. My name is Chris. I am your host. And, well, hey, you know what? We should have some music to kick this off again. All right, it looks like everything is in order, so it is time. Let's start the show.
Hey, this is Stephen Cummings from Sixes, and you're listening to the Doom Tomb Podcast.
Ho, ho, ho! Time to get jolly on your naughty asses.
Today, we are going to go to the west coast of the United States for this emerging band. They have been crushing it in the scene lately. Now, initially, I found them on Bandcamp and Instagram, had to grab that EP right away, and I was looking forward to seeing how they were going to progress. Well, they have a brand new track that is featured on the Trip to Oregon edition of the Weedian compilations. Sounds pretty damn good, right? All right, let's get into the interview right now. Today, we're going to go to the Pacific Northwest for a four-piece band with fuzzy riffs. They had a demo that came out not too long ago, and they just sent me a brand new track that is an absolute killer. I am with each and every member of Slow Goat out of Portland, Oregon. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
Doing awesome. Very great.
Awesome. Now, if you could, just so we know all the voices, could you go around, introduce yourselves, and what you play?
I'm Dan. I play guitar with Slow Goat.
I'm Eric, and I play drums with Slow Goat.
I'm Rosie. I sing.
Gage, bass guitar.
That's outstanding. Now, Gage, so before we get into this, can we talk for a second? I think it was you. I'm hoping. So I saw this thing. There was a headband. A yellow shirt, blue shorts, and I mean short. Totally nice ensemble, by the way. If tube socks, maybe with stripes on the top up to the calf for the win. What was going on there? And do those shorts ever affect your bass playing?
It was a hot summer here in Portland, and it was sort of just necessary to survive the band room, where it got pretty steamy.
Yeah, you just got to air it out a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did the band come together, and what's your story?
Well, I mean, I can't really speak on how the rest of the band came together. I can only speak for myself because I was the latest addition. And so the demo that you hear online was recorded with the previous drummer, Dallas, and he had to leave the band, and they were looking.
He spontaneously combusted on stage at a show.
Was he watching a documentary or like maybe a mockumentary or some kind?
He may have been cursed. Who's to say?
It's difficult,
but we do sincerely thank him for all of his service before his incident.
Indeed, it must have been some incident. But now you have a gentleman behind the kit, and he's got a great story. Go for it, brother.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's just that Dan and I. We go pretty far back, but we did not see each other for a lot of years. We were in school together, and we did some projects together at U of O. And since then, and that was in 2012,
yeah, something like that.
And so between then and now, we had maybe gotten a beer or two every few years. And I got a text, I think in April or something, that just said like, "Hey, long time no talk. I remember you being pretty decent at drums. Do you want to come audition for this band?"
Mm-hmm.
And I had remembered this band and remembered that Dan was very into like metal drumming, metal music in general, which was not really my genre. And I texted back and I was like, I mean, I could give it a shot, but like, I'm not, I don't really do any double bass. I don't do any like super heavy metal stuff.
Gotcha.
And he texted back and said, This is not that kind of metal.
So let me ask you, if that wasn't it, what was your style before? Like, what genre did you gravitate towards?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say what I gravitated towards. In college, I played a lot with the athletic bands, with the various sports teams at U of O, and I was in the Green Garter band and the basketball band and the marching band and all of those things. And so when I was playing drum set at the basketball games, it was a whole lot of, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and a lot of like classic stuff like that, but also mixed in with whatever current hits someone had arranged for the purpose of the because we're playing to an audience that is living in the present and there to see basketball, not really there for the music, and so giving them a soundtrack of tunes that they actually know. And so it was like a big sampling of genres,
right?
And then I left that, but so that gave me a really good foundation of like a lot of different things. And then after college, I played in a band called Husky Boys, and that was, I would describe it as maybe I don't know. I think at the time we were describing it as kind of jock rock, a little bit. It was kind of punky, very heavy Thin Lizzy influences, a lot of like very intricate screaming guitar harmonies. And so that was like my main project. And that was for 3 years and released a couple records. And then that project ended, lived in Japan for a year, and then came back and like didn't drum because the pandemic hit. And then like just started drumming again with a couple other projects. There's another project that I drum with now still that I joined before Slow Goat called Wrong House. And I had just started doing a few gigs with them, and that's like kind of groovy pop rock. And so that was my main musical outlet for a while, was just like some kind of more subdued, still got heavy a little bit. But yeah, so that was the kind of background leading up to getting this text to like, hey, do you want to come join this metal band? Mm-hmm. I was like, I mean, I feel pretty confident that I could do something interesting, but that wasn't like what I had done in the past.
Well, it's so basically, just to go back with being, in school and such. So you're basically like an athletic supporter, is what you're telling me.
In school, I was. I'm not really anymore.
Got it. Yeah, there you go. But you know what? Seriously, this brings to me something, because you talked about Earth, Wind, and Fire. Am I wrong? Tony Thompson was the drummer. Is that correct?
Oh, off the top of my mind, I can't confirm or deny that.
I tell you what. Here's the story I'm going to go with. Tony Thompson is the drummer for Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That sounds right to me.
And the thing that I didn't know him from that particularly, because I wasn't looking at the band Earth, Wind, and Fire and like I need to know each band. I knew Philip Bailey, obviously. So then there was like a super group, and it was the Power Station. And so you had Robert Palmer that was on the vocal. Then you had Taylor. Was it the two Taylors, I think, from Duran Duran? And then you had Tony Thompson, and that fucking the drum that he has, I don't know how the hell he was hitting it. Yeah. I don't know if there's some kind of attack on it or something. You hear those drums on Bang a Gong, that the T-Rex cover, and you're like, you can like it, love it or not, but you can't deny this guy's pocket. And that's a great thing to learn, so that when you move on to other genres, it's like a no-brainer for you.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it was cool learning in that environment, because it was a whole lot of, you're playing to a basketball arena. For the most part, as the drummer, you're just holding down the groove. And then also, of course, there's drum solos scattered throughout it. And so when there are drum solos, it is a very large room, and if you want the drum solo to be heard, you learn to hit quite hard. And so, like, that is one thing that I feel like people have told me is that I hit the drums pretty goddamn hard.
That's good.
Yeah, man. No, and that was something that kind of we instantly latched onto the first time that we played with Eric. I mean, when he came in the room, I think he had heard our demo a couple of times or something like that, but pretty instantly
I listened to it a couple, like the day before.
Yeah, but pretty instantly filled in, and I think I took a look at him after playing through one of our tracks, and I said, "Damn, dude! Like I thought you said you weren't a metal drummer, or you're not like a rock and roll like heavy hitting drummer."
Right.
And yeah, I think he just kind of surprised all of us, and maybe even yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great opportunity to do something new, and I'm definitely proud of what we've done, and I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Now, speaking of the music here, because you were recording some new stuff, I'd like to start out, if you don't mind, with going over this demo that you had. It was released in December, so almost a year ago. You wanted to go track by track and talk about it?
Sure.
All right, let's kick it in with The Summit. So I'm getting this kind of Sabbath vibe, kind of a sauntering track for me. It tells me it's kind of telling me like where to be, and just kind of be in the moment. You know, people will be people. It's like there's a moment when you feel like you're not above the masses, but you're more open to questioning and thinking freely. That's what I feel I got out of that track. What can you tell me about the process and everything else about The Summit?
Dan wrote actually, I think, the lyrics on that one. When the band started, it was Gage and Dan, and then I joined in later, and we kind of like worked on fitting me in there.
Yeah, I think the lyrics didn't have a super clear direction in the beginning. I kind of just knew that we needed something to go over the top of it, and right. I had this slow goat band name in mind, and I was like thinking about literally just a goat on a mountain. I was like, that's some cool imagery. That's kind of silly. I can work around that, and really all of it was just supposed to be like, I don't want to say placeholder, but like, oh, we gotta have something in there, and we ended up kind of liking it and sticking with it.
Right on, man. So, if you don't mind, could you tell me a little bit about how did you all come together?
Yeah, so me and Gage have been friends like literally our entire lives. And then at kind of midway through the pandemic, I think Gage started expressing interest in picking up bass again. And I was like, oh my God, this is a dream come true. I'm like alone, isolated in my house. Please come over. Let's start making some noise together.
Right.
And so that was kind of how that started. And after a little while, we started like throwing some riffs together, and we're kind of feeling like, oh, these are kind of cool. Maybe we should actually try and do something. And so, of course, as soon as it was safe to do so, we started reaching out to different musicians that we thought would be fun to play with, different folks that we knew. And I don't know, Gage, do you want to pick it up from there?
Yeah, so our first drummer who we did the demo with, somebody I worked with, Dallas, and he came into the fold after our first actual performance, which was done with like a drum track and no vocals, which you alluded to.
Right.
But that was a fun gig regardless. But after that, we got a lot of encouragement, and people's like, you should pursue this, get a drummer, get a singer, do it for real. And then so we shopped around, and I also worked with Rosie, and I heard her do karaoke at some events, like work events before, and I was like, she can sing, she got pipes.
Right.
Bring her.
It was funny too, because I remember Gage expressing that, like, oh, I've heard her do karaoke, she's great. I'm like, okay, how great is she? And then Rosie sent us some just like vocal takes of songs that she enjoyed, and we were just blown away. We were absolutely blown away by her voice.
Okay, so I have to ask, so when you heard the karaoke, what was the standout track? What was the one that got everybody to the dance here?
Hi, guys.
I feel like it was an old, like kind of maybe a jazz or blues standard that you probably performed.
Oh, probably Good Morning Heartache, the Billy. Holiday.
Billie Holiday. Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, we'll have to play some of that on here. That would be awesome. And yeah, if anytime if you want to break in and play a few, hum a few bars of that, I'm more than down. We can do that anytime. So with this music that you're creating with Slow Goat, when you obviously you've all been musicians for some time, were the previous bands in this genre, or were they something completely different?
I played in some very loose outfits, I guess, in high school. I grew up playing drums on the church band. I don't know if you count that as a previous band in the genre or out of the genre.
I'm gonna say out, but that's just me.
Yeah, that was kind of my background. Rosie Gage.
I did music in like high school and middle school and stuff, and took voice lessons in high school and was in like musical theater and sang a little bit of like opera stuff and was in choirs and stuff like that. I've always been into like jazz and blues and like 60s sort of stuff, and not really a big like stoner metal head kind of person, but
right.
I like it. I just don't have like big playlists of metal and stuff, so I've just been acclimating to the scene.
And it's great to get those outside influences. So if I could ask you, Rosie, just real quick. So you said you took some vocal lessons, and you were, I'm assuming, already singing a little bit before that. So when you took the lessons, what was like one of your biggest takeaways, like from getting lessons? Like, oh, this is how to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of learning what things feel like when you're doing it right. So you can kind of like learn the muscle memory and get some feedback, and they'll encourage you to, it's going to feel ugly. It's going to be weird. Like, you're not going to like it, but you just have to trust this and stuff like that.
Just kind of like trusting the process.
Yeah. They're like, try this. I know it's going to sound crazy, but don't worry about, sounding pretty. Just try this. And they kind of get you to like think outside of the box. And
totally. Yeah. There was a video a while ago. I probably mentioned it before. Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. So he has a vocal coach, or he had a vocal coach, and they were doing some tracks and they weren't getting, I guess, what they wanted. I might be butchering this a little bit, but so they told him to go outside the studio, like run around the block, run back up, and get right on the mic and do the vocal in that way. Because I guess he would have been more breathy. I'm not exactly sure, but it came out being the take. So I was like, wow, I never would have thought of that. Like, I didn't know it. Like, it seems so interesting to hear a vocalist when they reach and do something that, like you say, like you're getting outside the comfort zone and you're building that muscle, and maybe there's another way or to create that sound.
Yeah, it's also a lot of like learning the ways that you get in your own way and in
Sure.
your own head, and kind of like figuring out how and when to tell yourself to F off.
Exactly.
It's okay, Rosie, you can swear.
you can. It's all right. We no judgment here. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll move on to the second track, and that is The Fall.
Something is covering me. Of course, I cannot be seen. I know it's hard to believe.
More up tempo, and then at around a 2:13 mark, that's what I wrote. We prepare for like the second half of the track, and I just live. I mean, I can picture this. I can see this. The lights are swirling and turning and changing with each and every hit of that bass drum. What can you tell me about The Fall?
Yeah, like I said, a little more up tempo, a little bit faster, I think, than some of the stuff that we play. It feels heavy, and once it starts ramping up, like you say, kind of all hell breaks loose there. I know for my part, I love getting to just turn knobs on my pedal board and make wacky sounds. Other people seem to be into it too.
Oh yeah.
The 3 songs on the demo were kind of like made with the idea of them going into each other, and
Right.
I think lyrically there's like a little bit of a through line story. Like there's like the same sort of, we think of it as the same sort of like protagonist throughout the whole thing, but
Mhm.
it's all just sort of like, you know, just psychedelic little fantasy journey thing. But
It's the same goat the whole time.
Yeah, it was the same goat.
Same code all day. But yeah, I could totally see that. There's a lot of in my eyes to these tracks. There's a lot of empowerment going on. A lot of just, you know, hey, a little bit of rise above, but a little bit of know who the fuck you are, and be true to yourself, and then share that truth with others. If they like it, great. If not, hey, no sweat. We move forward. When I heard that the ending of that track, I was just like taken back, man. I was like, holy smokes, this is some good stuff right here. And speaking of,
Sweet replay.
oh, thank you. We're gonna go into this next track here, and it like Rosie was saying, it goes into this line, "Risen to Die" is the track. I was kind of getting this feeling of like Rosie's kind of saying, and maybe the band is saying, like, nothing can shake me. I got this. Whatever it is, whatever you want to throw at me, I'm gonna come back. I'll come back harder. I'll come back stronger, and you're gonna see how I can pull this off. And on top of that, I even get a little cowbell in there, which, yeah, bravo. And I could definitely see this track as a set ender for a killer night. What can you tell me about "Risen to Die"?
I'll say it's funny. This is again with previous drummer, but we had to argue to get the cowbell in there, and it
good
worked
choice.
so well.
They definitely didn't have to argue with me. I was happy to put it in. But yeah,
Fantastic.
I was not on this recording. But when we play live, it definitely still has the cowbell.
Yeah, that's kind of non-negotiable. We felt pretty strongly about that.
So basically, what we're saying, at least one track from every Slow Goat release, a little bit of bell in there somewhere.
I make no promises.
Okay, fair.
You know, but I do like a good cowbell.
Don't worry, if I get my way, will be.
A full track of just cowbell. That's it. With
I'm in. Careful what you wish for.
maybe some
Love I've lost and love I've known. Love I've sown and hearts turned stone. Paths traversed by all or one. All roads traveled now alone. Another ring will light my eye. Another silent soul will cry. Every day
Okay, so those are the tracks that you have put out currently, and they've been out for a little bit now. Now, we got this new track. You sent it over to me. I got to say, you sent this over and saying, like, yeah, I don't, it's not quite done or whatever. I don't know what else you have to do to it, to be honest with you. I mean, first off, do you have a name for the track yet?
It's Heat of the Blaze, parentheses, Serpentine Cosmic Nightmare.
Bless you. Thank you, sir. That was, yes, fantastic. Okay, so we've got a definite progression here in my eyes. It sounds incredible. I'd like to hear a little bit about how that was created, in the, what is that thing called? Where you do the rehearsal? In the recording space. Couldn't think of that tough word there. So I'm getting this like sultry kind of occult vibe. Again, telling a story, weaving. This is one thing I really like, because sometimes I hear a vocal, and I'm like, it's kind of with the music, sorta ish. I really enjoy hearing a track where the music and the vocal just kind of weave into each other. Tell me about it. Tell me how it was created, and more importantly, for myself for this track, like, what did you do any changes in recording? How you recorded it, because it sounds amazing.
Yeah, a lot of big changes in the way we recorded it. We recorded with Jano of JLR Audio Productions at Toad House Studios here in Portland, Oregon, and we kind of went all out for this track and maybe some other tracks that might be coming out, where we were actually able to perform in more of a larger studio space where we could all see each other and make eye contact and get the full sound of the room. I know that went a big, long way for getting the sound of our drums and Eric's like incredible hard-hitting style. But I can gush enough. So that production-wise, it was definitely a lot more than what we did with the demo. And I think that really comes out just hearing, and Jano's done fantastic work with it.
Absolutely. Now, when is that going to be released?
December 1st.
Awesome. Now, just a quick question here. So are you doing like, because I've seen this on Bandcamp a lot where people are doing like track by track and then they put the whole release out. Is that a plan, or you think you're going to put an EP or a full release? What do you got?
We've got some singles that are can definitely stand on their own past this first initial track, and we are still talking about possibilities for a larger release. But right now, we just want to get some more music out there because, as you mentioned, the demo's a year old, or at least it probably will be by the time anyone's hearing this, and so it's not what we sound like anymore.
Yeah,
and Heat of the Blaze is much closer to our actual sound.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: will you be working on releasing "Cruel Communion" as a track?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's on the list.
Awesome.
I'll receive.
but only because you asked us for it.
Well, thank you. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Let's go a little bit in the future. What can you tell me about "Cruel Communion"?
Its working title was Cannibal Jesus.
Feast up, everyone.
Did you want to talk about this one?
That was a fun one. But going forward, it's definitely, you don't want to give too much away, but you can expect it in the next few months, I suppose.
It was a really fun track to put together. Like some of the tracks that we write, oftentimes Gage will just be kind of noodling around with a riff, or he'll come into the practice space and he'll have something. He's like, "Hey, I came up with this. What do you think?" And we'll sit and we'll play with it. And it blows my mind because I do much of the songwriting around the rest of the tracks. And sometimes when Gage comes in with a riff like that, it'll just set me absolutely on a path where I could never have imagined something done creatively like that, and it just doesn't occur to me. And that was one of the tracks that started out with just a rad riff that Gage had, and it fleshed itself out pretty nicely, I think, around the rest of it. And the lyrics as well were kind of, I think, started a little bit with a couple lines that Gage had.
Yeah, just some sort of a lot of it skews anti-religion, Christianity in this case specifically.
Right.
But just kind of like point out the hypocrisy, and it's not new ground in our genre to tread lyrically, but we all have to say our piece, I suppose.
It always reminds me of this interview I heard a long time ago with the band Venom, and it was very basic. I know they were black metal, but it was like, he says, we write powerful songs about a powerful subject, period. And that can be taken. I mean, look, it's just look on any chart, man. It's either love, loss, whatever, but it's how you tell the story. And I think you guys are doing a killer job of it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
If you don't mind, I have a few more questions to ask you. Let's see here. What are we going to start with? How about we start with this? Because I've seen this every once in a while, and I see some people that maybe haven't gotten to this level yet, but how important to you is onstage presence?
It's fairly important. I mean, as an audience member, I guess it depends on like the music, if it's like a psychedelic sort of slow song where you just kind of like catch on to this like headspacey groove, then right. You don't need people to be like dancing around or whatever. But I don't have anything to do with my hands, so
all right.
I think that lends itself to engaging with the audience a lot more.
Right.
We get compliments on our onstage presence, but I think it's because of our chemistry as like friends, honestly. Yeah. And we're like having fun together in the moment. You know what I mean? Like when we hear, my experience has been like, I've been nervous sometimes, and then as soon as that sound check starts, it's just like, I don't even care. Like, I'm not even worried about it. This is so much fun. Like, this feels so good. And then if I start to see audience members like getting into it, I just try to like nurture that, I guess. But
feed the machine.
Yeah, I'll even add to that. I mean, not to embarrass Rosie too much, but the first gig we played with Eric, she said immediately after we got off stage, she was like, I could not stop smiling and looking back at you. That was so much fun. Oh my God.
I was going to say, I definitely agree with what Rosie was saying about it's a whole lot about chemistry on stage. And like, we genuinely enjoy hanging out with each other and creating music together. And there's a whole lot of eye contact and feeding off of each other on stage. And obviously, like Rosie said, she doesn't have things to do with her hands, which lends itself to doing a lot more with her hands that is not specifically music related, that engages the audience. But like for me as the drummer, obviously I have plenty to do with my hands, and so like for me, stage presence is just about showing what a good time I truly am having, and like allowing myself to just enjoy the moment, because if you watch someone enjoying something fun, then you will also have fun, I think.
Totally. Yeah, I think, and it's all of very solid points, because like you can see bands on stage when they're not having a good time, and you're like, I kind of feel for them. And like I even locally, there's been some bands recently that I'm like, wow, this is going to be done real soon. It's kind of rubbing your neck on that one. Okay, so I thank you.
Add one more thing to that last point. I think something that helps, and that we've been complimented on before, is that we all look like we're in the same band. Like, we don't have like a hard and fast dress code, but generally we're pretty uniform. Like a lot of black, no sleeves, leather, denim, that kind of shit.
Here's a thing that Gage, you bring up a very interesting point. The sleeves, like I usually keep mine. But why can't we just start doing sleeveless merch? Like, I know we do a tank top and that's fine, but just whatever that.
Think of it as unwrapping a present, maybe.
Unwrapping also, it's customizable. If you sell a T-shirt, then it can become a tank top or a sleeveless something. But if you sell a sleeveless something, no one can add I suppose someone could add sleeves, but that would be a much more interesting shirt than I think we would.
Sometimes if
be
you come
talking
to a
about.
Slow Goat show, they do it for you.
Sometimes.
Separately.
Oh, you get
Or something
see
like that.
you're I dig your vibe on that one. You can head to what are those places? A fabric store or something and get one of those. Have you ever seen they got a pizza cutter?
Yeah. You're speaking their language. They're the
Yeah,
pizza folks.
well, this is like a pizza cutter that will cut the fabric. You could have that at the merch table, instant sleeveless. Put the Slow Goat logo on it, and it's a solid
Goat.
thing. Slow Goat.
Slow sleeve cutter.
Low goat.
It is the logo.
Oh, look at you, the logo. Son of a bitch. I'll tell you what.
90% of our band practice is just goat puns. It's
I was
fine.
going to say our music is darker than our puns tend to be.
Yeah.
If you can, could you please elaborate about the show where you had several dogs involved?
Yeah, that was Gage, I think, alluded to this earlier. That was our first show, quote unquote, where it was literally just me and him and a drum machine. And I think maybe Gage's brother or a friend of Gage's brother had heard us play a little bit, and we're like, "Oh my god, please play my backyard birthday party." And we're like, "No, we're not even a band. We're just two dudes playing along to a drum track." But they twisted our arm enough. It was a backyard, and there were a bunch of cool dogs, and they ended up starting a mosh pit over my pedal board, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was
In
like a
the
circle pit.
I love dogs.
I believe it was during the fall, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was.
If you were to host a television show about farming, would you do it if the show title was America's Goat Talent?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's right in
No
our
brainer.
wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Where's the paperwork?
Yeah.
Just sign up right away. Okay, I didn't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Love it.
Love it. Do you want to join our band?
I don't really. There's not much I really do. I'm
When
sorry,
you're,
I can't. And we might, if it's a goat thing, we might butt heads.
This guy.
What is your most controversial food opinion?
The one that people are often shocked. I just don't care for sushi or like fishy seafood. Not for
Okay.
me.
Okay, fair enough.
Twizzlers suck.
Red vines are superior. That is true.
Is
Oh,
that
you're-
controversial though?
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? That's controversial. That's
Oh, okay.
That's a-
Just
look.
that I know.
hey. Now, okay. So, all right. So let's please slow the vines. Okay. Here's the Twizzler has a much harder consistency.
Yeah.
The vine is softer, obviously. Both great if I don't know, you cut both ends off, you use it as a straw. Yeah, but a Twizzler, you know what? I gotta be partial about this. Personally, I have to go with Twizzler over Red Vine. Odd story. My mom had worked for a machine company, and that company made the machine that made the Twizzle in the Twizzlers.
It twisted the Twizzler?
Yeah. So maybe it does it for the same thing
Wow.
for the vines. I don't know, but she never told me it was it put the vine in the vines. That's it's. I think it was a Twizzler exclusive, is what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I never thought about how they were twizzled before.
Oh,
Things
I mean,
you take for granted.
Yeah.
now,
I
what-
just assumed that they came out inherently twizzled,
well, if they weren't, they would be called ropes. They also have those, right?
Maybe vines even.
Even.
You're fucking blowing my mind right now. So in this subject of food, because I was watching some YouTube stuff last night, and it got me thinking, what is something that not enough people put on a hamburger?
Peanut butter, 100%. If you have not ever had a peanut butter burger, there is an amazing pub down the street that does peanut butter bacon pickle burgers that I have to say, I mean, if you have not put peanut butter on a burger, you do not know what you're missing. It is surprisingly delicious.
Okay.
Unless you're allergic, don't do it.
If you're allergic to peanuts, I would not recommend it. Yes, I agree, Gage. Thank you.
Yeah, look, we're not trying to get sued here, Eric.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you decide to put peanut butter on your burger with knowledge that you are in fact allergic to peanuts, I absolve myself of responsibility.
Well, just like bring an EpiPen. You'll be all right. I think.
That's there you go. Right. I mean, live your dream. Live your dream. Who am I to say what you can and can't do?
Would you say it's to die for, Eric?
It's pretty damn close.
Wow. That is so. We were a second ago. We were talking about food, and I want to talk about that within the scope of places in Oregon. Number one, so when bands come through town, where is the best place to grab some good food?
Ooh. That's a great question.
Portland is a mecca of delicious
Yeah.
food.
Wow. The food carts are popular, but it's hard to like name one, but that's definitely like a feature of Portland food. It's
Right.
a thing.
Well, especially if you're in a group and you don't all necessarily know what you want, or if you want the same thing, go to a food cart pod and you can all get whatever you want.
Really? Are there a lot of them over there? I don't.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're like seemingly every few hundred feet. I mean, that's an extreme exaggeration, of course, but like, yes, they are everywhere.
And you almost always get gigantic portions for like, less than $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing to grab on tour.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pizza spot connected to Dante's, one of my favorite venues. They're called Pizza Slut. They do killer calzones.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Are you playing there soon? Right. Like in a week or so?
Mhm.
Yeah, we are next week. We're playing with
Green Seeker and Tigers on Opium.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was just going to mention it right here. Bands
my
in your
God.
area that deserve more attention. Tigers on Opium. I have to make a formal apology to all of them. They have been through here twice in a year. I have missed them both times due to unforeseen circumstances. Can't wait to see them. But I have seen that you played with them quite a bit. Green Seeker also. I was a fan from. I apologize. I'm not looking right now, but they had the first album had the like the genie lamp on the cover, and then the second album, Wish.
Yeah.
Oh man, some great stuff. Plus, I saw.
absolutely.
Say that again.
Absolutely. We love those guys. They're such sweet people.
Yeah.
Formed like a band friendship with the three: the Tigers, Green Seeker, Slow
Right.
Goat.
And I've also
some
seen this return. Ravine made a return. I don't know if you talked to them. Do you know if they have any new material coming up?
Ooh,
I think that they. Well, I guess I shouldn't speak for them. I believe that is in the works. I know that they are, they are reformed. And we played that first show that they hadn't played, I think, in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, a little while.
It was a great show. Really happy to be part of that lineup.
What bands in your area deserve more attention?
Oh man. There's a band, Young Hunter, that we played a show with them.
Yeah, came through here several times. Love them.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh my God. I'm blown away that more people are not as blown away as I am. I think they have just an incredible live sound that really takes you to a place. They're really good about creating a setting. And I think that blows my mind.
Here's a question. Is Slow Goat gonna ever do a cover, or do you ever put them in a set?
Yeah, we've done a couple of covers. Actually, one of the first covers that we did was Where Eagles Dare by the Misfits, just because it was an easy enough song that we could learn it pretty quick and get it all together. We've since retired that one. We've played some Sabbath covers, and they always seem to go over really well. We really like doing Electric Funeral. Maybe that one will show up again. I would like to record it. I think that'd be fun. But
Yeah, we've currently retired Electric Funeral for now.
For now, yeah, I got you.
But I mean, if it, let us know if you wish that wasn't the case and you want to hear it.
That's right.
You know where
That's
to
right.
find us.
Indeed. Let us know and let it snow, because we are in December officially. So, like I said, I had some time before the interview and I wrote down a few things. I'm going to name a few songs, and I would like you to tell me if you would do a cover of it or not. And here we go. The first song, Feliz Navidum.
I don't believe in Christmas.
Okay. Doom, you hear what I hear.
I feel like that would be hard to make doomy.
Okay. All right.
Do you doom what I doom? I might do that.
Okay. Grandma got run over by a rain of doom.
Oh yeah, I'd play that.
That's it.
That's the winner.
Okay, thank you. Now, I can't believe I actually did this. I don't know where to put this. I actually wrote the 12 Dooms of Riffage. Yeah.
Let's hear them.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Do I sing it or do I just tell you?
I mean, you probably sing it, right?
I think you probably sing it.
Oh, fuck. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go from 12 to 1 as it would be the end of the song. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Me. Red leather, yellow leather. Brrr. Okay, I think I'm ready. 12 drummers drumming, 11 heads banging, 10 orange amps, 9 jacket patches, 8 pre-roll joints, 7 songs by Swans, 6-string SG, 5-string bass, 4 requests for Freebird, 3 drink tickets, 2 killer riffs in drop D, and the right to praise Iomi.
Hey.
Oh,
like
very
it.
nice.
I dig it. We're going to need a lot more than 3 drink tickets, but aside from that.
well, I was going per person, and then, you do what you want. You do what you got to do. Thank you for indulging me on that. Okay, just a few more quick things. You just got home, and there is an exact copy of you there. What happens next?
At my home?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have to leave.
Really?
That's their house.
I mean, I was gonna say if they're at home, aren't I the copy?
Yeah.
Well, you know that you're the original, so
do they probably though.
Kill us both, Spock.
Yeah, they might too. But I'm thinking there would be like some kind of Jedi mind trick hierarchy where you can actually tell them, like, look, I don't know if you know this. There's like 4 loads of wash in there. That shit's got to get done. I was gonna go out and grab some Sonic. I'll come back and please.
No. If it's me, they're not doing the dishes. They're not doing the wash.
I'm gonna be honest. I've watched enough like sci-fi, Star Trek, DS9 stuff that I would assume it was some sort of changeling, and probably immediately try to beat the shit out of it. Okay. But if it was in fact an exact copy of me, we would probably be evenly matched. So I really can't say how that would end,
But if I showed up and there was an exact copy of Eric at my house, I'd probably kick the real Eric out.
Oh, I see. Now, Eric, like when you're telling me that you're going to fight yourself, would you see the first thing I think of The Matrix, that part where you got everything uploaded and they're doing the martial arts and it's just blow for blow, back and forth. I think it's going to be a testament of will. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. This sounds like something that I definitely don't want to happen.
Okay,
because I'm not optimistic about my chances. I feel like it would probably just end with either both of us dead or both of us, sitting on the couch smoking a joint.
See, I think that would be the best because we're going to laugh at the same stuff.
Right. But you got to get there. I just don't know how I don't know. I don't know if we can make it all the way there, but I mean, you make it there, you're good. You're set.
All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Now, I know that you got to gear up and we got to make some scratch so we can get some more songs done so we can get a release out or at least a couple more tracks. How can everybody help you and where can everybody buy your stuff?
Come to our shows, give us high fives, buy our merch at our shows. We do have an online merch shop. It's merch.slowgoat.com if you want it. Buy our tunes when they come out. That helps us make more tunes, and we just love when other people want to enjoy and share music.
You can find a link tree on our socials, I believe. That'll take you to all that stuff.
Exactly. Perfect. Did you have something else?
That's not actually the site.
I was like, I don't think it's merch.sligo.com. Hold, we're gonna make sure we tell you the actual link.
Okay, that's cool. I could go on. I could go find something here.
It's in the link tree, that's for sure.
Yeah.
On our Instagram. Yeah.
Here I go. I'm getting there.
Okay.
It is.
I got it right here.
Oh, okay, great.
It's merch.slowgoatband.com.
That's right.
Should we
Somebody else was squatting on our domain.
domain
Oh,
squatter?
Sneaks. Oh man. Let's see. So what do we got? We got t-shirts and we got a patch. We got stickers here. I'm looking for I got to pick up a patch. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, patches are in person only.
Son of a
gotta come to the
bitch.
show.
Or maybe we'll throw them online. Who knows?
I guess that's true. If you could message us if you really wanted a patch, we could probably arrange something.
All right, cool.
Make it happen for you.
Everyone,
We got new shirts coming too as well.
new shirts, we're talking about it.
We have artwork that we have for our new single for Heat of the Blaze, which of course is not public artwork yet, but that artwork is going to be thrown onto a shirt as well, and probably available starting from our first shows in December. And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we've been working with Stephen Yoyada on the artwork, and he's been doing just absolutely killer work like he always does.
Isn't it amazing the turnaround time that this guy has? It's what do you want? I want this. I want this. Boom. Like a day or two later, he's like, what do you think about this? I'm like, I mean, it looks amazing. Yeah. Do that one. And he's just a great person to work with.
Totally.
Yeah, highly recommend.
We're really excited to show off what he's done for us.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us for this wonderful addendum. And I guess we're going to talk again soon, especially when I see you out here in Arizona, stifling in the boiling heat.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate it.
And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Chris.
A huge thank you goes out to Rosie, Dan, Gage, and Eric for giving us their time, answering a few questions, and talking about this track that we're just about to hear that is now on the Trip to Oregon edition of the Weedian compilation. You can find it over on Bandcamp. I will put a link in the show notes. Let's hear the track right now. This is Heat of the Blaze. Thank you all so much for joining us. Huge thank you goes out to Ian from No Masters Audio for crushing it every time with all things sound for the Doom Tomb podcast. And you can also hear me on Cranium Radio Sunday evenings, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each and every Sunday. And then that follows by the podcast. Sometimes I just want to play new music instead. It depends. I don't know. Doom Tomb Podcast at gmail.com. Hit me up if you need something. And Doom Tomb Podcast or just Doom Tomb on TikTok across all social media. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back again really soon. Take care of yourselves. Get out to those shows. Bundle up. I mean, I don't know. I'm out in Arizona, but I'm freezing. My hands, my fingers. I use a hand warmer sometimes. This is out of control. All right, everybody. Oh, buy that merch when you're at those shows. And don't forget to stay heavy.